You're listening to the Chic Code Podcast with Wirda Alyssa and Sophia Arissa. All things chic, candid, and comedy. Hey girlies, welcome back to another episode of the Chic Code Podcast, and this episode is proudly brought to you by Beyond BB Maid Agency. Going beyond traditional assistance, enabling you to focus on what truly matters.
Trusted, reliable, transparent with fast, free process and no hidden costs. Plus, they have flexible payment plans.
So follow them on Instagram and Facebook at beyondbb.sg.
You can also follow them on Instagram and You can also call or WhatsApp them at 900-899-00.
Thank you so much, Beyond BB, for powering our episodes.
Yes, thank you so much. Oh, I'm so excited because I have a BB, Fika has a BB,
Jane has a BB, now
and
me.
you.
Yes.
So when is your time to interview?
So aku actually tak rushing sangat. It's just that I told Beyond BB that I will need a helper towards the end of my confinement.
Okay.
Jadi dia akan overlap dengan confinement nanny aku. Jadi confinement nanny aku boleh train helper aku.
Okay.
Because my confinement nanny is also from Beyond BB.
Okay.
Yeah, so they provide me with that additional service of, the confinement nanny and the helper as well untuk train each other for the newborn. Then baru that will be like the transition week, and then the helper will be with us. So after the baby is out lah.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I'm actually very very excited. Aku tak tahu apa nak expect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tapi macam sekarang kan each time kalau aku cuci baju ke aku kemas rumah, I'm just like, this is gonna be the last few times that I'm doing this shit.
Yes. Yeah. Jean was so funny. She's macam aku tanya dia, how's the interview? I really like this Monica girl. So apparently she interviewed one baby named Monica.
Okay.
Aku suka siapa Monica. Aku rasa dah hati aku dah terpaut. Like she's gonna, because she interviewed a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she said aku really have a good feeling of Monica lah.
Oh.
As this one girl she interviewed.
Is it?
So we're excited for Monica also to work with Jane.
Lepas tu Fika pula, kau ingat yang the recent Chic Moms punya episode, they're supposed to come by. Then Fika macam, sorry, aku lose track of time sebab aku macam nari macam so slow lah the time pasal baby kan.
Yeah, and she said, oh, I'm so happy with my baby. Dia cakap gitu. Because macam because usually Diva EE is usually macam like she, kalau tak suka orang tu she will cry. Fika said. Tapi the moment the baby arrived, the baby macam like tu, and Diva EE terus like
Kids know,
hugged and played with the baby, and Fika and Nat was so happy, like macam yeah, so yeah, all of our BBs are from Beyond BB, in case you're wondering.
Yes, and yep, I will keep you guys updated on my baby journey lah. Can't wait lah when the baby is here. Then the baby will also be here. So anyway, for today's episode, kita nak buat cerita hati. Kisah-kisah yang anda dengar.
Ya, jadi hari ni kita akan berbual pasal is it me or my Corinne?
Alamak, cerita Corinne.
Seram-seram.
Yeah, talking about Corinne, that this morning I was just listening to our Gina Shik's episode. Lepas tu tengah siap lah. Lepas tu husband aku asked me this question. Which one would you rather? Jin Ashik atau Corinne lagi seram? Lepas aku macam Corinne Ashik.
Jin Ashik kan macam lover boy. Kau faham tak? Like in the dreams, he's like a lover boy. Kan? So macam he does like that. Like
it can be like that lah.
It can be like that if kau reject like your
macam,
subconscious mind. Like, you're not my husband.
Yeah.
Terus dia
tu dia jadi dia punya actual. Tapi Corinne tu seram untuk aku.
It's like your evil twin sister.
Yes. because that's you. And then like it's the same you. And then like kau tahu tak, dia macam Spiderman. Betul. Siapa yang nama Melayu dia yang kau kasih?
Apa?
Udin, Daud dengan apa?
Aku lupa sia.
Okay, ya baik dulu. Cerita Corin.
Ha.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey girlies, I don't know if my story make a debut in your podcast or not, but here we go. Cerita ni nenek I yang cerita balik. Back then, when I was 3 years old, rambut I panjang tau sampai kat hip. So bila I duduk kat lantai, rambut I memang akan kena lantai. Time ni, nenek I tengah lipat baju lah kat ruang tamu. And dia tengoklah dekat luar, I tengah main buayan yang besi besar tu. Katanya I tengah duduk dekat platform tengah-tengah orang letak kaki tu. Then nenek I cerit lah, "Masuk adik, jangan main kat luar sorang-sorang." Banyak kali jugalah dia panggil. Tiba-tiba my mum keluar dari bilik. "Kenapa mak? Adik ada tu je. Adik ada je tu tidur kat dalam." Nenek I terus pandang luar again. And that girl hilang.
Hey.
Yup. Sekejap, mana I lost it?
Hilang.
The second story, time ni I 9-10 tahun. Time ni maghrib. And nenek I jerit panggil I sebab I dalam bilik. Solat maghrib, "Cepat dek." I jawab balik, "Sabarlah, azan pun tak habis lagi. Dalam toilet ada setan." Then, after solat, I duduk kat buai yang orang selalu letak kat dalam rumah tu. Buai tu depan sliding door yang kita orang memang tak buka lama dah sebab nenek I buat bilik dia kat area tu. So, the buai kat ujung katil nenek I and depan sliding door tu. Nenek I cakap, "Esok Umi, which is my aunt, nak datang tengok Wan Cik, which is nenek saudara. Nanti Nisa datang sini teman kau." Then I said, "Okay, happy lah kan. Cousin I datang nak party lah, apa lagi." So few minutes after, ada orang ketuk sliding door belakang buai yang I duduk tu. So dia macam ketuk, "Alisha. Oh, Alisha." Oi, mata I dengan nenek terus bertembung sebab kuat babe dia panggil. And sebiji suara cousin I yang Nisa tu.
Oh my god.
I selak langsi terus cari siapa kat luar sambil acah-acah cakap, "Takkan dah sampai, terbang ke?"
Oh my god.
Tiba-tiba I nampak kelibat lari dari sliding door tu. That's it from me. Sorry my story macam panjang sikit. Thanks so much. Selalu teman I drive and study. Love you all so much. And semoga Allah permudahkan urusan korang, especially Sophia, for your pregnancy.
Oh, thank you
Bye-bye.
so much. Bye-bye.
Oof.
Dia nampak kelibat lah.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Kelibat seram eh.
Yeah, and they can mimic your voice, you know.
Oh my god, don't. Please.
Yes. Sophia, kau ingat aku? Kau buka.
Bukan.
Kita dah balik Seoul tadi.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Sophia.
Seram betul. Seram siul. Okay. Cerita kedua. Childhood experience with ... Hey chic girlies, I really love your podcast. You're a fan from Malaysia, by the way. I binge watch all your podcasts and it feels my day. Today, I nak share a few experiences of cerita hantu or kisah seram that I've experienced in my life. Hope you guys enjoy this. Sorry if it's a bit lengthy, but I will make sure it's worth reading. Story number 1. I still remember this incident. This happened when I was around 6-year-old, which is around 2003. During that time, we lived in one area in Selangor. It was a residential area of terraced houses. Perumahan ni is owned by a lady. So the houses there basically are her rental houses.
Okay.
So kalau keluar dari lorong tu, depan tu jalan besar, which is usually as busy as it is the main road. You can imagine this area ialah satu lorong panjang ke dalam dan sepanjang lorong tu ada rumah-rumah teres but satu side saja. Jadi berdepan rumah kita orang ni ada semak-semak and satu pokok besar yang ada daun jura-jura itu.
Oh, faham. I tahu pokok yang mana.
Yeah.
Macam Tarzannya.
Yes.
Betul.
Basically, we all called it pokok bunian. One day, I saw my dad in the car. Tak tahu nak pergi mana. I called him so many times. "Ayah." Tapi dia tak toleh. Dia duduk tegak je sambil ready to drive. untuk keluar dari lorong perumahan tu. Biasalah kan, I budak kecil, bapa I nak pergi mana-mana semua nak ikut. So I kejar the car and I kept calling him, "Ayah, orang nak ikut." Tapi ayah I tak toleh. He was still in the same position, duduk tegak, pandang depan and kept driving. The car is slow enough for me to kejar. Suddenly, I felt someone pulled me. "Kau nak pergi mana?" It was my sister.
Tarik dari belakang.
It was my sister. Then I realised I almost nak ke jalan besar and nasib baik kakak I sempat tahan. I pun cakap lah, "Aku nak ikut ayah lah. Ayah nak pergi mana tu?" Kakak I terkejut. Dia cakap, "Kau kenapa? Ayah tu ada kat rumah." I terdiam je. Kakak I pimpin I balik rumah. Memang betul ayah I dekat rumah. And kereta elok je parked. So I kejar siapa tadi? Does the thing want me to die as I almost got into the main road? But why? Sampai sekarang I still ingat kejadian ni. Dia dah mimik kereta juga, Syul. Dia dah berilusikan kereta sekali. Story number 2. This happened back then when we moved to kampung nenek I. That time umur I dalam 8 tahun. And rumah nenek I ni jenis jauh sikit dari jiran sebelah. The kampung style yang satu lorong satu rumah. So untuk masuk ke rumah tu, kena jalan dalam a few meters lah. My mum berniaga kuih dengan nasi lemak. So masa awal-awal pindah tu, belum ada tapak nak berniaga lagi. So berniaga lah kat depan lorong tu dah. Ada pangkin kecil dan jambatan ke rumah. Lepas tu jalan sikit baru jumpa rumah nenek I. Jadi sebab berniaga kuih dengan nasi lemak kan, so pagi-pagi tu dalam waktu subuh, I dengan kakak akan hantar mana kuih yang dah siap untuk set table berniaga. Pagi subuh dengan gelap samar-samar cahaya, morning breeze, memang seronok angin kampung. Pagi tu kakak I dah bawa 2 Tupperware untuk set up dekat depan meja. So she walked first. I pergi kemudian. I pun tak sangka I sangat-sangat berani untuk jalan seorang-seorang. Maybe I tak pernah experience benda-benda pelik lagi kot kat situ. So dengan berbekalkan cahaya dari lampu mentol jalan tu, I brought the Tupperware filled with kuih. I walked towards the pumpkin. I tak nampak kakak I thought, dia dah sampai lah tengah set up meja kot. I jalan slowly. Yelah, takut kuih jatuh kan. Jalan, then jalan. Then I rasa something is wrong. Bulu rumah I tiba-tiba naik. I tahu morning breeze tu memang sejuk, tapi ni macam sejuk sangat. Jalan je, tak nak fikir apa-apa. So masa I jalan tu, I perasan ada bayang-bayang di sebelah kanan I. And during that time, I fikir, tak ada apa-apa lah. Bayang-bayang normal what, cause lights of course there's shadow, right? I nak confirmkan if that thing is a shadow. I jalan, dia jalan. I stop, dia stop. I jalan lagi selangkah, then dia jalan.
Babe, macam bujang
Macam
lapuk.
bujang lapuk. Kacau. Cik Ros kat depan. Ros kan nama dia? Ros. Ini. Dia stop.
Oh, macam bujang lapuk sih.
That scene.
Ya, betul.
Bapak, ada orang kena je, Pak. Pencuri ni, Pak.
Background dia ting ting tak ting ting.
Yes.
Kupang.
Bapak, cepat bapak, ada pencuri ni, Pak. Siapa?
Okay, so kita sambung
Okay, sambung.
So dia confirm that okay lah, shadow lah, ni tak ada apa-apa. Then I terdetik satu benda kat dalam hati. Kalau bayang-bayang, mesti dia berpaksi dari kaki aku kan. What is berpaksi ya? Means
Berpaksi
yeah. I jeling bayang-bayang tu. Oh, okay. Oh my god.
Kenapa?
Right, babe. Okay. Kalau shadow, it will be from your feet.
Yes. Oh
Right?
my gosh. Okay.
Oh my god, I just got freaking goosebumps. Bloody hell. Bloody hell. Okay. So dia jeling bayang-bayang tu. Then she was like, shit, this shadow is standing on its own. I dah gelabah, tapi tak nak nampak gelabah. Yelah, orang-orang tua kata kalau kita tak takut lagi benda tu kacau kan. I was stunned. Weh, benda ni ikut aku lah, bukan bayang-bayang.
Babe, kau tahu macam Peter Pan.
Mana Peter Pan?
Peter Pan bukan Ariel Peter Pan
Aku ingatkan ada
Peter Pan yang kartun tu, tapi bukan kartun, they make like a movie.
Okay, aku tak
So
tengok.
Peter Pan the shadow is like on its own. Like, kau faham tak?
Shadow dia macam kawan dia. It's an entity.
Yes, on its own. So dia boleh bersiap, boleh beragut-ragut dengan
Oh, itu
shadow dia.
Peter Pan lah.
Correct.
Ada je kau ingat. Oh my god. Okay. So lepas tu I dah menggigil, berdiri kaku sambil tangan I still pegang Tupperware kuih mak ni. Nak lari tu my kakak macam jauh sangat. I berdiri je kat situ nak nangis. And then I saw my kakak on the way back. I lambai-lambai panggil tapi suara tak keluar. I dah menggigil. Kakak I pula dia takut sebab dari jauh nampak benda melambai-lambai, but it was actually me. I'm screaming inside, wishing my sister to come to me faster. Kakak I sampai je kat I cakap, "Kak, ada benda ikut." Sambil I tunjuk guna isyarat mata to the shadow.
Oh shit.
Standing. And you know what she did? She took the Tupperware kuih in my hands and ran back to the house. I tengah terkaku berdiri lagi at the same place. I panggil kakak I sekuat yang I boleh with sambil suara macam nak nangis. Baru she pulled my hand and dragged me to the house. Masuk je rumah, dua-dua tercungap sambil terus tutup pintu rumah. And mak I tanya, "Korang dah kenapa?" I cakap, Ada benda. Kenapa tak percaya kursi? Dan seriously, masa tu I tak fikir apa dah weh. Rasa nak pingsan je. Yang penting kuih mak dalam Tupperware selamat. That's all for today. Thank you so much for reading this. Actually banyak lagi benda jadi since I kecil. Like I bangun tengah malam nak keluar rumah sampai my mum pasang front grill, gatal-gatal seluruh badan. Like apa ni semua aku tak tahu. Apa ni? Can you just cut this whole paragraph?
Yeah.
Nonsense, I don't know. Hope you guys enjoy my stories. Not so much, but hopefully entertaining. Love you guys. Don't stop podcasting, okay? Nanti tak ada teman during working or driving.
Okay, insyaAllah.
InsyaAllah.
Doakan kita.
Yeah.
Okay, my next story is I peluk kawan yang rupanya kena rasuk.
Oi.
Seram Assalamualaikum Rida dan Sofia. I type email ni sambil tengah dengar your latest episode seram. First story, Asrama PLKN.
PLKN. Okay. Oh.
Bukan
PL.
KK.
Apa?
PL. So, PLKN in Malaysia kira macam NS lah kat Singapore. Baru kakak tahu.
Kita tak tahu.
Cuma PLKN ada lelaki, ada perempuan. Kami akan masuk PLKN ni lepas je SPM and only selected people yang kena join. Nasib Singapore perempuan tak payah join NS. But there was such rumours, remember?
Yes.
Fuck.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
No.
Imagine all must masuk and all kena pixie card.
Hey, my hair. Tapi aku
You
aku
always wanted.
Okay lah, try lah pixie cut. And you cannot say anything.
I will look like my dad. Aku will look like my dad.
Okay.
Yep, okay. Kami akan masuk PLKN ni lepas je SPM and only selected people yang kena join. So I was one of the chosen ones. So kat attachment I ada tunjuk position dorm I and layout dalam dorm untuk you guys lagi faham story I. So let's just look at the layout first. Okay. So this is okay. Yang bulat is locker. Oh yeah. So it's like normal dormitory punya tu.
Yeah.
Okay. Similar to NS kat Singapore juga. So ampai je mau baju, toilet 876 I don't know apa.
Okay.
So the story began at our first Thursday night there. Routine dekat camp I, lights will be off at 10:30 PM. So my dorm dah gelap. So we literally baru je tutup lampu and semua orang baru je baring tiba-tiba dengan suara jeritan berjemaah dari dorm sebelah, which is dorm 7. I'm in dorm 6. My first thought bila dengar jeritan tu, tikus lah tu. Yelah kan pasal perempuan kan.
Oh yeah.
If perempuan ramai-ramai jerit is either terlipas, tikus cicak.
Oh yeah. Okay. Makes sense.
Sebab siang tu I ada kawan dari dorm sebelah cakap macam ada tikus kat dorm dorang. Semua dormmate I terus terduduk tau sebab masing-masing semua macam kenapa Dan habis dia orang jerit, pintu depan dorm I bunyi orang ketuk banyak kali panggil untuk buka macam buka.
Oh my god.
Lepas tu bila I dengar betul-betul I macam it's PA's voice.
Okay.
So I cakap, buka tu PA. So PA ni duduk kat dorm 7. Tapi kita orang selalu together berempat.
Okay.
Dia seorang je dorm 7. I, A and B sama-sama dorm 6. So diorang macam 4 sekawan.
Okay.
So macam let's say aku, kau, Jane, kita sama dorm. Fika je dekat dorm
Okay.
lain. Okay. So Fika's like, buka. Okay. So kawan I pun buka. So PA masuk and I tanyalah, apa jadi PA? Ada tikus ke? Bukan tikus, tapi Anis kena rasuk. Her face was really dull. Macam dalam keadaan terkejut gitu. So I macam, okay, take her to my bed and macam cakap, tak apa, kau dah kat dorm aku. So then my dorm mate terus on the lights and then we decide to tidur ramai-ramai dekat dorm as no one berani nak tidur sorang-sorang.
Okay.
So kita orang susun tilam masing-masing rapat kat tengah tu. So kau tahu kat tengah tu.
Okay.
At this point, semua dah terkumat kamit baca doa. Yang non-Muslim pun dah keluar segala macam. Yang Indian dengan serbuk putih dah letak kat dahi. Yang Chinese dah keluar rantai macam tangkal apa semua. Okay. Lepas tu macam after a while, semua still tak boleh tidur. Then some of us cakap nak pergi toilet tapi takut. Then decide to go together ramai-ramai. Cuma nak keluar dari dorm pun kita orang tak berani. Just at that night, ada warden datang knock the door, beri salam. Assalamualaikum. The warden want to check on us. So dorang bagi tahu warden pasal nak pergi toilet tu. Warden cakap, okay, pergi. The thing is kan, dah baring ramai-ramai dekat tengah tu, my position was not next to PA. Sebelah I, si A.
Okay.
Then PA, sebelah PA si B.
Okay.
Tapi si A and B nak pergi toilet sekali. So I decided not to go. So does PA sebab dia just diam and tak gerak langsung dalam keadaan baring meniarap. So dia rombongan pergi toilet, dah gerak. PA pula diam je. So macam kau Fika diam je. Aku dengan Jane pergi toilet.
Pergi toilet Okay. Kau leave aku dengan Fika. Okay. Lepas tu.
Okay, so I tegur dia. Weh, kau okay tak? Kau nak pergi toilet tak? Dia diam je. Tak ada jawapan. So I pergi sebelah dia. I cakap, kau terkejut lagi Tak apalah ni, dah okay lah. Sambil baring and peluk dia. She was crying at that time. But with just a slow voice. Lepas tu rombongan toilet dah balik. Aku dengan Jane. Diorang masuk je dari pintu belakang dorm. Si A and B tanya dari pintu tu sebab tengok I tengah peluk PA and macam tenangkan dia. Kenapa? Kau cakap, dia terkejut kot. Dia tak jawab apa-apa, cuma nangis je. So A and B pun datang duduk sekali. Tiba-tiba suara tangisan PA semakin mula kedengaran sampai ke pintu belakang. All my dormmates yang baru balik dari tandas terkaku and tengok I sambil buat reaction macam tanya, kenapa? Mind you, I'm still hugging her. And I cakap sambil slow-slow berhenti peluk dia. Dah, tak apalah PA, kau tidur ke? Jangan nangis tau. But then, A and B tak jadi duduk sebelah si PA. Dah mula menangis. Pasal PA dah mula menangis kuat sampai semua orang macam, Pergi cikgu. And bila dormit I buka je pintu and jerit, Cikgu, tolong. Suara tangisan tadi terus kuat dan bertukar menjadi mengilai. Kau imagine, dia dah minta tolong terus dia macam That's the moment I realised she had been possessed. I was too stunned to move and kawan-kawan I lain half dah mula lari keluar. Another half yang belum lari ni dah dekat dengan I. And dia cakap dengan I, weh, kau jangan tinggal dia. I macam, weh. Tapi diorang ikut lari siul. Dia suruh kau jangan tinggal. Tapi diorang suruh nak cabut. Nasib baik cikgu sampai cepat. I nampak muka cikgu. I terus lompat. I lari keluar sekali. Dan kami yang dari dorm 6 diarah pergi ke dorm 8. Sebab situ je yang tak ada siapa kena rasuk. Yang dari dorm 7 dari awal tadi semua pergi ke dorm 8. Kecuali si PA yang masuk dorm I. Kau faham kan, dia yang ketuk nak masuk sangat masuk dorm kau. Imagine lah malam tu kita orang 3 dorm disumbat dalam satu dorm.
Oh, ramai sure.
Satu dorm oh.
Okay.
And it was so restless. I rasa I finally dapat lelap mata pun around 4 AM. And bila dah nak masuk subuh, barulah kami balik ke dorm masing-masing. Yang kena rasuk dah dibawa ke medic room lepas ustaz dah rawat. So I assume semua dah okey lah untuk PA dengan Anis. Tapi tak ya.
Ada lagi ke?
For context, during 2014, Johor punya weekend is Jumaat Sabtu.
Oh yes.
Yes, I remember
Yes,
that.
I remember that.
So esok tu adalah hari cuti. Lepas subuh sarapan roll call, lepas roll call free time sampai ke lunch. So kita orang pun masing-masing buatlah hal sendiri. Bila nak waktu lunch, kita orang nampak PA. I, PA, A and B memang sentiasa makan sama-sama walaupun kita orang lain dorm and lain group. So obviously bila nampak PA, kita orang ajak dia makan sekali and all. So PA pula setiap kali sebelum makan, diorang yang So PA pula setiap kali sebelum makan, dia yang akan remind kami untuk baca doa makan and lead the doa. Macam Fika. Okay guys, baca doa dulu guys. Kan kau boleh macam Fika.
Yes.
Okay.
Lepas tu?
Tapi hari tu tak weh. I noticed but I just brushed it off. Sebab I fikir mungkin dia penat kot and baca dalam hati sendiri je. Sebab yelah kena rasuk ni kan after effect dia berasa orang tu akan lemah. So I pun baca doa sendiri and makan. So lunch hari tu yang disediakan oleh oleh ikan pula. Lunch hari tu yang disediakan adalah ikan. Oleh ikan masak
Ikan jadi chef. Itu lain. Ikan jadi chef. Dah macam cerita SpongeBob. Dekat Bikini Bottoms.
Itulah lunch hari tu disediakan oleh ikan. Inilah penting Melayu education.
Kan Bikini Bottoms semua rakyat-rakyat dia ikan.
Yes, correct. And ikan jenis yang banyak tulang. Halus-halus tau, bukan macam ikan kembung ke apa.
Okay.
Tengah-tengah makan tu, PA tak berbual pun. Tapi kita orang borak-borak lah juga sesama kita. Tapi apa yang I perasan, dekat dulang PA, tulang ikan yang halus-halus tu, dia susun selai demi selai. Banyak ya. Kau faham?
Yep, it's like
Tapi ramai ada yang
yeah, we'll do that lah.
some people do that, you know.
Maybe it's
Datang kat pinggan tu duri-duri tu.
Okay, then.
Okay. I mula tak sedap hati. I terus tengok A and B. Kau tengok aku dengan Jena. I nak confirmkan apa yang I nampak tu normal ke tak. They pun fikir benda yang sama. Tak sempat kami nak cakap apa-apa. Tiba-tiba PA mula menangis tapi tak ada suara. Okay. Cuma nampak air mata dia mengalir. Slowly mula ada suara and dia tersenyum sambil menangis. Nangis. Cue nangis. Yeah? I masa tu dah macam in the middle of the day ni, then one of us terus dapatkan cikgu and cikgu brought her again to the medic room. Almost a week jugalah PA macam lemah and bukan macam PA. I tak tahu apa pihak camp buat dengan dorang waktu berubat sampai kan lama juga masa dorang ambil untuk betul-betul bebas gangguan. I tak tahu macam mana dengan Anis, the first girl yang kena rasuk tu. Tapi apa yang I dengar dari cikgu, Anis ni terjumpa satu pad yang tak dicuci and terbiar dalam one of the toilet cubicles. So dia takut ada cikgu yang marah, so dia pergi basuh.
Okay.
And that's when dia start kena ganggu. Mula-mula dia hilang satu set baju uniform. So malam yang dia kena tu sebenarnya dia pergi cari dekat ampayan belakang dorm lepas roll call malam, and dia dah ternampak ada benda, dia terus lari masuk dorm dia. Tu yang dia kena rasuk malam tu. Tahu tak apa yang paling tak best? Masa kes rasuk tu, itu adalah minggu pertama kita orang sampai and jalani latihan PLKN. Kita orang ada lagi 2 bulan 1 minggu kena duduk kat situ.
Alamak.
Okey lah ladies, nampak ceritanya I terlalu panjang untuk I cerita pengalaman asrama I yang lain. So I'll stop here. Thank you for reading my story and keep entertaining us. And tolong I paling terhibur bila korang habiskan satu lagu hanya kerana terintro sikit je sebenarnya. Semoga TCC sukses selalu. Bye-bye. Love listener from JB. JB Style Brother.
JB Star Brother. Very good storytelling. Wida Elisa, very proud of you. Aku betul-betul menghayati cerita ni. Kau faham tak? Dengar.
Yes.
Oh, bestnya cerita ni.
Ya, so dapatkanlah bibi. Tak ada, padahal tak ada link.
Tak ada link tapi nak masukkan juga. Episod ni dibawakan khas oleh Beyond BB Maid Agency.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on to the next story. Ini hantu dekat 5-star hotel in the middle of KL.
Fuck. Don't tell me Grand Hyatt.
Hey. Oh yeah, 5-star. There's only a few 5-star hotel in KL.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a short one. Okay. Hi, girlies. I really love listening to your podcast while I'm working. You guys are very entertaining and really funny and so kacip.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have a lot of experiences and ghost stories. So this is one of my stories. In 2025, my family and I went on a vacation to a 5-star hotel in the middle of Kuala Lumpur. Tapi I dengan my husband tak ambil cuti. So after balik kerja terus siap-siap and shoot to the hotel. Actually kami check in agak lewat pada malam tu dalam pukul 9 lebih menghampiri jam 10 malam. Then the front desk lady told me that my room number was 501.
Okay.
Well, something like that. I can't remember the exact number lah. But after that, dia kata ada masalah rupanya. That room number dah occupied. And dia cakap our room number dah tukar ke 301. Also cannot remember the exact room number. I cakap okay je. Tapi she cakap pihak hotel upgraded our room and this is the last room for the night. And I pandang husband I and just senyum sampai dalam lift and then I gelak. Ha ha ha, last room, faham kan? My husband agak blur and tak faham. Aku pun tak faham. Kenapa dengan last room? Is it like...
Pasal it's like actually the unwanted one.
Oh, faham?
Yeah.
Faham? Okay. Then I cakap, never mind, nanti you faham sendirilah. Untuk malam pertama, semuanya okay. Tak ada apa-apa masalah. Semuanya bermula pada malam kedua. Masa tu, I dah nyenyak tidur. My husband memang selalu tidur lambat. So that night, dia belum tidur. I dengan baby dah tidur dah. Ini apa yang dia cerita. Sebab sepanjang malam tu, I memang tidur nyenyak tanpa ada apa-apa gangguan. My husband cerita, malam tu sebelum dia nak tidur, dia dengar ada orang ketuk pintu banyak kali. Tapi dia cakap, tak mungkin pihak hotel atau orang lain sebab dah tengah malam masa tu. And peliknya, kenapa orang tu tak tekan bell?
Betul.
Kalau betul dia manusia. Then after a while, ketukan pintu stop. And guess what? Dia sambung ketuk tingkap pula.
I say man. Dia tingkat 3 kan?
Aku tak tahu.
Level 301. I don't know.
I don't know. She just put in any number lah.
Oh.
But 5-star must be a high building lah, I guess. Okay. Okay. Dia sambung ketuk tingkap bilik yang berada di tingkat yang tinggi ya. Then my husband malas nak layan and dia pasang earpod and tidur. Tak lama tu, it got wild. Bila my husband dengar bunyi yang sangat kuat datang dari bilik air. You know what? Hair dryer tiba-tiba on.
Alamak. Hantu hair dryer.
And my husband masuk bilik air and memang plug tu on. So dia off and then went back to sleep. So esoknya my husband cerita kat I and terus I cakap, itulah yang I dah agak akan jadi. Cuma tak expect teruk macam gitu.
Oh.
But at least dia tak jelmakan diri lah that night. Well, itu saja cerita I untuk kali ini. I ada banyak lagi juga sebab my husband so-called hijab terbuka lah. Hope my stories can entertain you guys. Bye, girls.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Oh, okay. So next time aku tahu last room aku tak nak ambil.
Kan?
Never thought about that. Is it true, orang-orang yang kerja hotel, can you please put in the comment section, is it true that a hotel, I mean in a hotel building, satu bilik tu kena jadi vacant or something? There must always be a vacant room. I've heard this rumor somewhere. Is it true? Put in the comment section below.
Okay, next story
Yeah.
Family from another dimension.
Ayo.
Hello TTC.
Eh?
Sheila.
Tishi pula.
Rida and Sophia, first of all, I would say thank you for cheering me out with your podcast stories. May Allah bless you both, your families and your dream team. I want to share my CHKS story to you guys, but it's a long one. I hope you guys enjoy it and please dua for me to recover from this thing. Please keep me anonymous.
Okay.
Okay, so back then, during 2017 to 2019, I'm always crying in my bedroom alone in the midnight because I've been bullied by my classmates, by my schoolmates.
Okay.
Starting year of 2020, I have to face these disturbing moments. Until now, I thought it has already stopped. On a random day of 2020, I dreamt someone, a guy, Army. I didn't know him, but in that dream, I felt everything. I felt he touched my body and put that thing inside of me, and then I suddenly woke up and felt macam something sakit lah at my legs and my like chest area. I thought it's just a random nightmare, but it's not. After 3 weeks, I dreamt again, but this time I already gave birth to a daughter.
Okay.
Oh shit. In my second dream, I already felt like I have a husband. Cause you know lah, dah bersalin kan. And since that, I always mimpi happy, lovey-dovey my husband in my dreams lah. Okay, jap. I didn't tell anyone about this dream because I thought it's harmless punya mimpi kan.
Yeah, yeah.
But another 3 to 4 weeks, I dreamt I gave birth again. But this time a son. This one, I mimpi I gave birth and breastfed him. I terjaga rasa sakit dekat my nipple and my breast tau. So at this point, I dah rasa something wrong, bukan lagi harmless punya mimpi. I have the courage that time to tell my mum and my sisters. So they brought me to Darul Shifa at Bangi. The ustaz told me to mandi air daun bidara and amalkan surah-surah before tidur.
Okay.
I don't exactly remember what caused me to dream all of this thing. So lepas dah amalkan and mandi air daun bidara with all the pantang larang, I no longer have to deal with that weird and creepy dreams. But it happened again a year later.
Wow.
Year 2021, lepas I dah mimpi ada anak semua, I thought dah habis, tapi I mimpi I jumpa my husband in my dreams. I cakap dengan dia yang I tak nak ada apa-apa hubungan or urusan dengan dia lagi. He just smiled at me and slowly disappeared. Kali ni, I dah nampak muka and appearance dia.
Okay.
His style like orang pondok agama. Baju jubah putih, kopiah putih, tinggi, muka menenangkan jiwa and handsome. Tapi I memang tak kenal lelaki ni in real life. Lepas pada mimpi tu, I dah tak jumpa dia and anak-anak I. Sekali lagi, I thought it was done, but it's not. This point, I dah start malas and macam nak maki dia je dalam mimpi I yang latest ni. Kejap lagi I cerita. Sebab bila I sedar, I dah dalam mimpi. I tahu mimpi ni will lead him. I dah dalam mimpi. I tahu mimpi ni will lead to him or not. Walaupun it's just a dream. Fast forward, April 2025. After so long tak mimpi about him and anak-anak tu, during bulan puasa last year, I tersedar I dalam mimpi yang akan lead to him. Macam I cakap tadi, I can sense and feel. I time tu dah ready nak maki and marah dia sebab last time I dah cakap tak nak ada kaitan. And dia pun dah smile and disappear. Tapi mimpi ni lain. Mimpi ni tak tenang macam sebelum ni. I mimpi I ada dekat satu empire tengah gaduh dengan empire lain. Alah, macam dalam PC games or movies tu kan gaduh macam kan gaduh malam-malam sambil bawa obor. Yes, macam tu.
Empire? Is it like the PC?
Macam PC games movie tu kan gaduh macam sambil bawa obor. Obor is like the fire.
Oh, yelah. It's like
Kalau orang nak
War.
tak macam kau nak rempur rumah orang
ramai-ramai ya. Yeah, like that lah.
The fire stick, right?
Yes.
Okay. Understand.
Okay. I tengah terpinga-pinga. Kenapa aku kat sini? Kenapa sampai gaduh macam ni? Sebab I know mimpi ni kan leads to him. Suddenly, ada seorang makcik tua datang ke I and cakap, Suami kamu tewas.
Oh my God.
I tahu siapa suami I time tu. Tapi dari dulu, first time I mimpi dia sampai mimpi yang ni, I tak tahu nama dia. I pun pergi kat makcik tua tunjuk suami I tewas. Bila I dah sampai, I nampak
What's that, Sia? Thunder ah?
tanda.
Are you sure? It's going to rain ah?
Okay. Bila I dah sampai, I nampak dia tengah terbaring atas tanah penuh dengan darah. Kepala dah hampir putus. Tangan, badan, kaki semua ada kesan tetak. Sambil dia tengok mata I, dia cakap, Arkan. Arkan tu apa? Until now, I tak tahu apa maksud tu. Seram sel.
Seram bodoh. What if it's a code
Oi.
word? Oi.
Stop it.
Stop. Oh.
Sama ada nama dia or anything else. I terjaga, I terus muntah beside my bed sebab I bau darah dalam mimpi tu.
Oh my god.
I can bau the hamisness in real life. Nasib baik time tu pukul 5, so I cuci and ready to sahur. Tapi all day I lemau dekat tempat kerja. I jadi blur, I shaking sebab I still bau hamis darah tu dekat hidung I. Seharian I jadi bodoh. Mak I cakap dia dah mati lah kot. Okay, sampai tu je I mimpi about dia. Tapi kalau time I bersama San tak ada kerja ozonau, tiba-tiba I dalam hati dengan sendirinya rindu anak-anak aku.
Oh my god.
And terus tersedar kenapa I terfikir tu. Ada lagi. Kali ni I tak tahu yang sama or yang lain. I dah tak mimpi pelik-pelik macam tu. Tapi last month, January 2026, I nak breakfast and I rasa sakit dekat wrist I. I nampak ada kesan gigit. Kejap je, ada around 5 minutes then dah tak ada. You can see the picture I attach here. I takut sebab benda macam ni mungkin ni nak kacau I kenal dengan orang baru sebab before this pun kalau I kenal dengan orang mesti tak kekal lama. Okay, that's all from me. If you read my story, I peminat TCC. I hope you guys boleh doakan I dah tak hadap benda-benda macam ini lagi. Amin. Moral of the story, jangan suka nangis malam-malam sorang-sorang sebab nanti dia suka. Hehe. Ni, wrist dia. Sekejap, ada orang. Tadi kau Google apa? Is there a meaning behind that name
Is there
or
a word? Is it? Why is it louder? Hello. So scared already.
Dia tak lah. Dia aku Google this
What
bahasa
does it
Urdu.
Urdu ah.
Dia cakap means arkan. In Arabic means pillar, support or cornerstones.
Pillar of support or
Representing fundamental, essential or foundational elements of something. Entah. Yeah, nothing.
maybe it's his name, huh?
Maybe.
Kan?
Ini bukan biasa.
It is.
It is.
Dah ada family semua kan?
Yeah. Last dia kasih love bite-nya.
Tapi tu tak tahu lah the same
Siapa ke?
or it's another new gene yang suka dia.
Seramnya.
Wow. That is
so scary. Oh my god. Why is today's story so scary, yeah? Oh, so scary one. Ayo, got time to do another story? Oh, okay lah. Do another one.
do another one lah.
Do another one, Okay. Short one, ha. Okay. Okay, this is a short one, guys. From our Sarawak listener. Kita ada banyak listeners from Sarawak. Shout out to you guys.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I love this.
Where is that? Is it the Kelly one?
Yes.
Yes, I know. I've seen this.
so cute.
It's so chic
Yeah.
because of the Kelly belt. Baru ni?
Baru.
Baru kan?
Should we?
Try lah kat MS.
Okay.
Check. Okay. All right. Hi, Rida and Sophia. Hope you guys are doing great. Please keep me anonymous. I'm from Sarawak and I have 2 cerita hantu to share. Not sure if this ghost wanted attention or just wanted to join our house rent, but yeah, here we go. So for context, this happened in 2022 when I was studying in a private college in JB. My housemates and I had to move to a new apartment because our contract with the college management ended. Before moving in, we had already stayed there for almost 3 months, so it's not like we were new, okay? There were around 7 of us living in a 3-room apartment. Already sound chaotic enough, right? Cerita pertama, the polite laughing ghost. One night, me and one of the housemates, let's call her Mimi, bukan nama sebenar, we're just chilling in the living room. We turned on YouTube on the TV to play some songs, but the volume was super low. I was lying on the long sofa near the living room balcony, and Mimi was sitting on a single sofa facing the balcony. Both of us were just scrolling TikTok, minding our own business. Suddenly, I heard someone laugh. Not the scary ha 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 laugh, but this one was worse. It was like a soft, polite laugh. The kind people do when they are trying to be respectful. That is creepy.
Yep.
If you want to laugh, you know the laugh menggilai one is like it's like, okay, I know you're here, but it's the buat lagi sikit udah.
Aku should be like macam kau tahu horror punya voice over
Voice
ke
over.
voice artist kepada
you-
production yang nak voice artist horror.
Panggil Wida.
Yeah.
Bagus. I got shocked and I thought it was Mimi, so I looked at her. At the exact time, she looked at me too. And that's when we knew, okay, this is not funny. Then I thought maybe it was my TikTok. I replayed the video. And guess what? It was a news content, like serious news. Who laughs during the news? At that moment, we didn't even talk. I just jumped up and ran straight into the bedroom like my life depended on it, and Mimi followed behind. Mind you, the living room balcony door was open and it was already around midnight. Very ghost-friendly timing. When our other housemate asked why we suddenly ran into the room, we just said, "We'll tell you tomorrow." The next story, the balcony knocker.
Oh.
This happened to me alone, or at least I hope it was alone. I'm the type who sleeps late. That night, one of my roommates was on a call with her boyfriend at the bedroom balcony. It was already around 2 a.m. There were 4 of us sleeping on the bed, and I was at the corner right next to the balcony door. Very unlucky placement, I know. About an hour later, my friend finished her call and came back to sleep. I was feeling sleepy too. Then I tidur meniarap with my ear facing the pillow. Suddenly, ketuk. At first, I tried to be logical. I thought maybe it was the marble falling or something. But then the sound continued and I realized it was coming from the balcony door. My bulu roma immediately stood up like it was paid to do so. I wanted to get up and check, but then I noticed that all my roommates were already asleep. That's when my body decided to stop functioning. I froze, didn't move, and just started praying like never before. After a few minutes, the knocking stopped. And the next day I told my friends about it. They laughed and then they said, "That's why, jangan tidur lambat." But yeah, that's all from me. Thanks for reading, and hopefully this story can make it into the podcast. Anonymous from Sarawak. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Hari ni cerita sangat-sangat seram, you guys.
Yes guys. Yeah. So kalau korang nak BB, you guys can check out Beyond BB.
Yep.
Memang for me, I'm very very pleased with Anissa.
Yeah, I
She's
can
very
see that.
automatic.
Yes.
Very happy-go-lucky, which I love. That's number one macam yang aku nak. When I was looking for a helper, I prayed that I got someone that is very positive and happy.
Yeah, betul.
Because I feel like people's energy will it's very easily macam
Yeah.
kita will easily macam
Absorb their
absorb
energy.
their energy tau. So
Yeah.
if someone is happy, she greets me all the time, like in the morning, "Good morning, ma'am," with like the
I love
biggest
it.
smile ever, and aku will like, oh,
Kan macam
hi.
instantly lift up your mood. And I would love to add lah, because we all went to KL together. And then I remember there was one Saswe night when kau
Which Swaswe night?
there's another Saswe night. I think we were upset with our partners or don't know what, but I went over to your room and then you were also upset. And then after Anissa was there like trying to put Taya to sleep. And then she saw both of us, was like, "It's okay." Then lepas tu aku macam tengah macam, dah tak apa babe, tak apa. Lepas tu Anissa macam so like tak tahu nak buat apa. Then she just went up to us. Enggak apa-apa ma'am Sofia, ma'am Wilda, Anissa ada. And then she half-hugged us. Yeah, such a positive bunny. I
Yeah,
love
but
her.
she's like, dia laugh. She's like, I understand because women's hormones are like
Yes.
this. You know, you just give birth. Ma'am Sophia is pregnant.
Yeah,
It's normal.
it's normal. I love it.
Yeah. Dia macam like enable our action and our, you get what I mean?
Tapi dia comfort kita at the same time.
Yeah.
Tak apa-apa, Anissa ada. Dia dekat tengah-tengah kita. Aku macam, oh, what a sweetheart.
Yeah.
I love it.
Kamu ada twin nggak kasih Ma'am Sophia?
Please, I hope our mates can be besties. I will update y'all in the
gosh.
future episodes.
Yes.
So thank you so much, guys, for tuning into this episode. This episode is brought to you by Beyond BB Maid Agency. If you guys would love a helper, please don't hesitate to call them at 900-899-000. Thank you so much, and we'll see y'all in the next episode. Bye-bye. Hey, girlies, we're back with another product talk with Nurul from Beyond BB.
Hi.
Hi. So, hari ni punya product talk kita nak talk about macam nak cakap like how can the helpers receive the instructions better?
Understanding your helper lah. right?
Understanding
correct.
our helper.
Okay, so we as employer, right, we have to, give a clear and simple steps, simple instruction first, all right? And then give them some visual example. For example, let's say, be macam gini lap something. Or read the routine. Okay, pukul berapa buat apa. After that, pukul berapa ambil anak. Something like that. So that they don't forget about this lah. And then also you have to be consistent in your instruction. Jangan hari ni you cakap, buat A and then tiba-tiba esok B. So it's quite confusing for them.
Yeah.
So with calm tone, right? Respectful, and then one task at a time. And then no complicated instruction lah. Typically, this recipe of a good, instruction to the helper so that they can receive this.
Kena clear lah, guys. One thing at a time.
Correct. Kau jangan kasih so complicated punya arahan yang aku sendiri tak faham.
Yeah.
Kan?
Yeah.
Macam there's a certain way yang kau likes to get it done. Tapi macam of course like you have to teach them.
Yeah, correct.
But simplify it.
Betul.
Macam let's say what?
Let's say
Like,
let's say lipat baju.
yes.
Lipat baju.
Okay, maybe the way you do laundry. Like there's a certain way.
There's a certain way kau buat laundry.
Okay, kau suka soften this much.
Yeah.
Lepas tu, like you have your own like formula for like the clean and crisp.
Yeah.
Lepas tu you like to iron the clothes, then you store it. Pasal kalau orang biasa just lepas dah cuci,
correct.
lipat biasa. Tu, tapi kau suka macam
Kena make sure that it's crisp.
crisp kan.
Then baru
Itu
kau
kau
letak.
hire butler. Kita kena manage our expectation. Kau faham tak?
Yeah, macam okay, for example, wardrobe kau suka colour coordinate. Macam aku suka okay, ikut
Ya, sama.
putih,
Correct.
biru, hijau, macam it's all colour coordinated. Habis macam husband aku pula dia suka macam okay, baju-baju gym semua satu side, baju-baju
course.
ni semua nak kena. So kalau kau maybe take it step by step lah.
Yes,
First,
one step at a time.
Macam okay B, okay ni lipat baju macam gini dulu.
Betul.
Okay next we'll move on to part 2.
Yes, correct.
Gantung baju ikut warna.
Betul.
Dan lepas tu baru kau buat gini. Okay, baju ser macam gini kau kena. Just tak mau, just kau tak boleh macam I mean
like one shot.
one shot kau. Okay, ni nak kena macam gini, nak macam ni. Kau ingatkan dia apa? Robot.
Yes, she's not a robot lah. Maybe
not a robot.
10 years later down the road, then we will have robot helper. Kan?
Kau tanya Elon Musk. Jangan tanya Beyond BB.
Betul. Yeah, for me ni is just an assistance. Okay.
Ya, betul.
Correct. So must be very clear lah. Betul.
Alright, and then also macam I think kita also sometimes forget like kita punya and harian ni semua macam very fast paced. Sometimes we forget to like appreciate them.
Yes, correct,
Kan?
correct.
And like for Beyond BB, I mean korang selalu macam in touch with korang punya helpers. What do they usually say? Macam you know what makes them feel appreciated?
Yes. So, you know, to have a long-term relationship with your helper, right? Trusting relationship, right? You have to appreciate them. All right. So that by, you know, what motivate them, like appreciation, you know, trust from employer, right? And then also like clear guidance, and then feeling respected. And then also knowing that they are doing well. I mean, once in a while you can tell them lah, you're doing a good job, something like that. So that motivate them to work even harder.
Yeah.
You know, even to help that. To help you.
Yeah.
You know, to help you lah initially.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I faham.
Ya, macam untuk Wida aku selalu tengok kadang-kadang once in a while aku nak ajak Bibi keluar makan, you know macam just to like take a day off with you guys. Tu pun macam buat dia rasa happy juga kan,
Of
keluar
course.
makan. Right.
Yeah, for me untuk aku lah, in my household aku tak suka macam treat a helper like, no, you are a helper, don't eat on my dining room, you go makan
Kat belakang.
kat belakang. Aku tak suka.
Yeah.
Like macam me and my husband pun macam, if she want to eat, use this dining table.
Yeah,
It's
betul.
okay, you eat alone, just use the dining table. Jangan macam faham, at first dia macam gitu.
Yes.
Tapi I'm like, why? Just kan, bukannya dia akan jadi kurang hajar, dia letak kaki atas dining table. Aku tak. Tapi macam like have some basic respect.
Yelah.
They are humans.
Yelah,
Okay.
betul.
Yeah. Kadang pun nanti kalau kita keluar kan, aku tak suka kalau macam keluar pergi restoran ke apa, aku selalu nampak this is very common, helper kat luar tau.
Oh my god.
Nyangkung tunggu employer habis makan, family makan kat dalam restoran, dorang nyangkung gitu tunggu.
Kesian babe. Kesian. Kalau kau nak bawa helper kau keluar, just get them involved as well.
Betul.
With whatever that you do.
Yes, and kalau kau tahu kau salah seorang yang sangat macam no empathy, kau jangan ada helper.
Betul.
Amaran untuk kau.
Betul.
Betul.
Sangat-sangat betul.
As a helper, they are assisting you, you need to have empathy.
Ya.
Kau kena ada rasa belas kasihan.
Betul.
Yes, kau tak payah.
Yeah.
Kau buat sendiri.
Yes. Respect is both way lah.
Yes, correct lah.
It's both ways lah. Okay, last question. What do the helpers wish for the employers to understand about them? Yeah.
Biasanya kita bila kita cakap dengan helper, right? Macam mana? I mean, what they want, like from employer, right? Typically, it will be, you know, the employer understand that they are adapting to the country. Okay, you know, with the fast pace nya lain, right? The culture nya lain, the language nya. I mean, language lebih kurang sama, tapi the meaning can be different.
Correct.
Right. Okay. And then also they are also trying their best, right? Because they are leaving their family behind.
Of course.
Right. So of course they want to do well, right? So they need your assistance also lah. All right. Then also to have patience when they are trying their best to improve themselves, right? Because they are trying to adapt to your household, they are trying their best. So maybe you can give a bit patience for them, right, while adapting. And then also they wanted to do a good work, all right? So your support can lead to loyalty and long-term harmony, all right? We have employer yang, you know, after 2 years renew the contract, and then after 2 years renew the contract. This is product of, you know, respect, mutual respect, and then also, you know, for you being patient with your helper lah. All right, that's why they can keep renewing the contract lah.
Yeah, yeah, correct. I hope for me now, I'm very pleased with Anissa. So like, hopefully like she can like work with me for a long time. Kan pasal macam anak aku dah biasa dengan dia.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
We hope lah.
Yeah,
Kan?
I also wish you the very wish you the very best lah.
Thank you very much lah.
For your helper lah.
Can't wait
to
lah.
see her.
You update me later. Thank you so much, guys. And we see y'all in the next episode. Bye-bye.